Jordan, can you believe it's that time of year again? It's
the Floppies! Woo!
This is everyone's favorite canceled manga year in review award show hosted by the wonderful me, David, hosted by the wonderful Jordan and myself, David.
Hello.
In case you didn't know, the names of the people on a podcast you've probably listening to for quite some time.
If this is your first episode, then
It shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be.
this is not representative of our podcast. We don't do an awards show every single episode. Oh, that would be an interesting idea
That
for
actually,
a podcast.
yeah, that sounds like a fun. Oh my god. But yeah, and so though, just for those who do not know the Floppies, what we do is Jordan and I have nominated 3 series each for a wonderful batch of categories. We have a lot of really fun topics coming up, including biggest drop in quality, craziest ending, best export summary, and of course, episode of the year.
You know something? People talk all the time about EGOTs, but nobody's gotten a FEGOT yet, you know?
Yeah. We have had some Eisner winners, though, on the show.
That is true.
Shout out to Xander Cannon.
Yeah.
I remember it was a big deal when we had our first guest on that had a Wikipedia page, which I think also was Xander Cannon. Oh man, I also want to give a big shout out to everyone in the community who submitted their own Floppies nominations. We will include the template if you still want to do yours, but unfortunately it'll be too late to influence. So I want to give a shout out to Red Blade, The Grey Potter, Dackerson, Spubby, Dude Rocks, Luffy, or Paladin, and Ulyssean for considering what they thought we should nominate for the Floppies. So we really appreciate it. Definitely helped me consider what I ended up nominating.
Yes, thank you.
The way it's going to work is we're going to do the category, and then Jordan and I will list off our nominees. Sometimes we have it where we have the same nominees, or at least one overlaps. That's usually the winner, but we still always discuss it, just in case, unless it's really obvious. I think our manga of the year, Jordan, is not going to be a surprise.
No.
So with that in mind, let's get started. So our first award is Biggest Drop in Quality.
Biggest drop in quality.
So for Biggest Drop in Quality, I nominated Yui Kamino, Sakama Gahara, and Dear Anemone.
Mine is Takama Gahara, Yui Kamio, and David's gonna be upset to hear this one, but Service Wars.
I understand. I still think it was a fun read.
Yeah.
So we have 2 overlap, so let's probably discuss those 2, yeah?
Yeah.
I think Takama Gahara, I was like, this seems like it's kind of fun, and it dropped off. Yui Kamio, I genuinely did not think it was a flop, and then it dropped in quality from not a flop to a flop, which really breaks my heart.
But I feel the same way about Takama Gahara. I really liked where it was going, significantly more than I liked Yui Kamio. Yui Kamio, I was kind of like, all right, well, it's getting all right. Okay. But like Takama Gahara, I was like, oh, this is not a flop. This is like pretty fucking good. And then like it just completely shit the bed.
Ultimately, though, I really do think that Yui Kamio had the bigger drop in quality from its highs in the initial, when it really got into its groove and then fell out.
You know what? I support that, David, because it did get pretty good for like a few chapters.
So the winner for Biggest Drop in Quality is Yui Kamio.
Yeah, oh my God, Yui Kamio! This is Yui Kamio's first floppy of the night.
Up next, we have Biggest Jump in Quality, where we celebrate series that got better over time.
Biggest jump in quality.
And so, Jordan, I nominated Yui Kamio, Martial Master Asumi, and Saint Muscle.
So, in my opinion, Saint Muscle was amazing from the get.
I really actually struggled to think of a third one that I was like, I felt improved.
Yeah.
Last year was also pretty bad, but this was not a good year for the manga we read.
The problem is that, like, the few good ones we read were usually good from the get, and then a few of the ones we thought were pretty good just got bad. Like, one of the ones I have suggested is Green Green Greens, but Green Green Greens was, like, pretty good. Like, chapter 1 of Green Green Greens was, like, not bad, but it's the same thing. I couldn't think of a third one. So my nominations are Green Green Greens, Yui Kamio, and Martial Master Asumi.
Yeah, so it sounds like we have the opportunity, Jordan, to do the funniest thing ever, which is to give Yui Kamio both Biggest Drop and Biggest Jump in Quality.
I think we have to do that, David.
I think we have to do that.
Okay, so the winner is Yui Kamio. Oh my God!
Yui Kamio just sat down and immediately got back. See, actually, one of the Kamios got each award.
Yui Kamio! Oh my God! This is Yui Kamio's second floppy of the night.
Next up, we have an award that's very close to the Shonen Flop fandom. We have Sora of the Year.
Sora of the Year.
aka Best Character in a Bad Manga. And Jordan, I think this is the first one where I think, do I even need to read the nominees? Because I think we know who's going to win, but I'll do it anyway. I had Minerva from Mama Yu Yu,
Yeah.
Anemone from Dear Anemone, and Giant King from Saint Muscle.
Giant King fucking rules, but I have Now from Yui Kamiya.
That was on my short list.
Yeah. Minerva from Mama Yu Yu. And Kisara from Two on Ice, who I thought was, like, not a terrible character. But no, it's Minerva.
Yeah.
It's Minerva. Woo! Oh my god, it's Minerva!
God, she's such a great character.
Oh my god. This is Mama Yu Yu's first floppy of the night.
Next up, in contrast to the best character in a bad manga, we just have the flat out worst villain.
Worst villain.
And I want to give a thank you to Red Blade for suggesting this as a category. So just a heads up, about a month before the Floppies, we have a special channel just for considering categories. So I appreciate everyone who submitted their ideas for categories. Unfortunately, we only have room for so many categories, though, but we appreciate them all.
David, I found that there was a problem, which was the manga with the worst villains and shit. I could not fucking remember. Like, let's talk about it. Who are your worst villains?
So my worst villains are the villains from Dear Anemone,
Yeah.
villains from Smokey BB, which I think is just a vague form of capitalism, and the evil church guys from Guardian of the Witch.
The problem is I couldn't remember anything from Smokey BB.
Exactly.
My examples are Kyokuto Necromance with that dude who was just like, I'm actually going to resurrect Mom. Joke's on you, I'm not going to do that. I have Shadow Eliminators, who was that guy who showed up at the very end. And then I have Hand apostrophe S, who was like, it was his dad. Like his shitty dad.
Jordan, I gotta be honest with you, big dog. I don't give a fuck about any of these, and we had zero overlap.
None of them.
Do you have anyone that you really care about?
I don't care about any of them. I think it's funniest to give it to Smokey BB, although capitalism is the most evil villain. But I also think it's funny that Hans is just his deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
And the Yakuza.
The Yakuza, what an unthreatening villain.
Yeah, so I personally give it to Hans.
You know what? That's totally fine with me.
It's not like the other ones are memorable. That's almost the point of the thing.
Yeah, that's totally fair. So Hans takes it.
Woo! Oh my god, it's Hans! Woo! Ah! Oh my god! Woo! It's Hans! This is Hans' first floppy of the night.
And next up, Jordan, this one is very personal to you. We have worst series to write a plot summary for.
Worst series to write a plot summary for.
Where I nominated Yui Kamiyo, Mama Yu Yu, and Chagcha.
I have Chagacha, Shadow Eliminators, and Kyokuto Necromance. It's Chagacha. That is the... Well, no, it's Chagacha.
Yeah, Chagcha sucks.
It's Chagacha.
I did notice that some people tried to nominate Psych House, but I have to point out that was probably the easiest plot summary because you just skipped an entire paragraph of writing.
Yeah, there was nothing to write, so yeah, it's Chagacha. Oh my god, it's Chagacha! Crowd's relatively silent for this one.
Not even the author cares about Chagcha.
This is Chagacha's first floppy of the night.
And you know what? The fact that we both had different pronunciations of it ties into our next award, which is hardest title to say, aka the Aliens Arena Award, which is going to be the lasting legacy of that series. Yes. Even though we also covered a series by that author.
Yes.
The hardest title to pronounce.
I had Dear Anemone, Yokimono, and Kyokuto Necromance, which I very much just now in that setting shows which one I probably want to give it to.
So here I have Dear Anemone, Super Dog Rillianthal, and Hand apostrophe S.
Okay, I get where you're coming from, but that's weird grammar is not weird pronunciation. We can say the name Hands fine.
I guess the problem is that it's the hardest to understand. It's not the hardest to say. So I have to go on how you pronounce these.
Yeah, that should just be the award.
I feel like in the same way that the hardest to write plot summary for is my award, the hardest to pronounce is yours.
Yes.
So judging from, again, Kyokuto Necromance, I think that is the hardest one for you to say, even though I've never heard you pronounce Dear Anemone right.
Okay, sounds good. Which is fitting because it's by the same author as Aliens Arena.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
He definitely brought his prior award on stage.
This is Kyokuto Necromance's first floppy of the night.
I think that's my favorite shitpost award we do.
Yeah, that one's really good.
All right, now let's get into the positives, where we have Best Art.
Best Art.
So Jordan, I nominated Saint Muscle, Dear Anemone, and Takamagahara.
David, I have Dear Anemone, Mama Yu Yu, and Saint Muscle.
So it's between Dear Anemone and Saint Muscle. It's hard. I feel I can see the Saint Muscle, but I also don't want to give best art to Saint Muscle. So I
kind of do want to give best art.
The entire Dear Anemone fell apart because the author spent too much time on the art.
That's what it seems like, at least. The reason I wouldn't give it is because there were multiple characters who looked identical. Like when he was just drawing the people.
Oh, you know what? That's fair. Okay, fine. It's just that double spread ass shot.
Incredible. I feel like the ass shot puts it over the edge.
Fine. All right, there you go.
Saint Muscle! Oh my god, Saint Muscle! Ah, it's a Saint Muscle!
Saint Muscle!
The crowd is going nuts. This is Saint Muscle's first floppy of the night.
He actually comes on stage and just shows his ass.
Yeah, and his lack of balls.
God, yeah. All right. Oh, what is the Akaroon? Anyway, in contrast, we have Worst Art.
Worst art.
Where I also nominated Saint Muscle, Chagacha, and Super Dog Brilliant Fall. I have to say, I don't think we had any Zontier where it was like you open the page and you're like, holy shit, this is bad. So
Saint Muscle's art was too interesting and fun for me to nominate it as worst art.
And we already did the joke with biggest drop and biggest jump, so.
David, let's be honest, it's Chagacha.
Yeah, Chagacha.
It's Chagacha.
Wait, what were your nominees?
Oh, my nominees were Wizard Soul, Chagacha, and Super Dog Brilliant Ball. The problem is that it's like, you're right, we didn't have any obviously horrible art except for Chagacha.
Yeah, Super Dog and Wizard Soul, I feel they were just, workhorse art.
They just were like, whatever. Yeah. Oh my god, Chagacha. This is Chagacha's second floppy of the night.
Next up, we have Most Ambitious.
Most Ambitious Series.
Where we award the series that tried the hardest, even if it didn't succeed. And so I had Mama Yu Yu, Saint Muscle, and Dear Anemone.
So what I had was Mama Yu Yu, Takamagahara, and Saint Muscle.
Ooh, I feel like I really want to give it to Mama Yu because you could tell what the author really was trying to do and he just couldn't make it work. But I think if he had tried again, he could. He had the ingredients, he just didn't have the right recipe, you know?
The reason I would give it to Mama Yu Yu is the paneling. He was really trying to do something interesting and cool with the paneling. Like, I haven't seen paneling like that in a very long time, so I want to give it to Mama Yu Yu.
All right. Mama Yu Yu takes it.
Mama, Yu Yu. Oh my god, there's chanting, David. Oh my god. This is Mama Yu Yu's second floppy of the night. Mama Yu Yu.
Next, kind of tying into Most Ambitious, we have Craziest Ending.
Craziest Ending.
Where we respect the series that really just went the most ball to the wall of what they were trying to do. Big shout out to Stealth Symphony, the Eternus winner of this award.
Stealth Symphony or Nano Hazard?
Yeah.
In which all of humanity got annihilated.
Yeah, that's pretty great too. All right.
This one was tough because we didn't have anything on that level this year.
We had at least one or two where we had K Necromance with that absolute...
Nice. That's your way you're gonna do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what I'm about, Jordan.
Yeah.
So I had K Necromance, Service Wars, and Takamagahara with that weird ass ending with the gender bending change and like power system that's never discussed.
Oh, right. Yeah. Mine was Mama Yu Yu, Yoakemono, and Kyokuto Necromance, which is the winner.
Yeah.
It's Kyokuto Necromance.
Yeah, what a fucking... That ending fucked me over with the chibi scoring.
Yeah, I think Yoakemono, they had the Black Plague.
Yeah.
That's why it's there, but it's Kyokuto Necromance. That's the one that wins.
I can respect that.
Yeah. Yay, oh my god, blah, blah, blah. This is Kyokuto Necromance's second floppy of the night.
Our next award submitted by a member of the community, so a big shout out to Dude Rocks, where they suggested worst character design.
This is the first one with no overlap.
No, we had a prior one with no overlap. We had 0 overlap for worst villain.
This is the second one that we have with no overlap.
You know what? That's fair. So I gave Icehead Gil, Chagacha, and Muddy.
I had Appearance of the Yellow Dragon, Dear Anemone, actually, because there are so many characters who look fucking identical, and Yamato Gensuki, because if you look at those character designs, they're very generic and edgy.
Yeah.
Like, they're like DeviantArt tier character design.
That's fair. Icehead Gil was like, God, that main character's design is so fucking ugly.
Yeah, I think I gotta give it to Icehead Gil. I think that makes sense. I just don't feel super strong about my suggestions, and Icehead Gil, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, I know. I was really reaching back for that one.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's Icehead Gil! It's Teen Girl!
Teen Girl Squad!
This is Icehead Gill's first floppy of the night. And many more.
Probably not. I think that's the only category I nominated for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I might have forgotten about that series. We do have most memorable moment.
Most memorable moment.
For Jordan, none of these should be a shock. I had the squirrel gun from Takamagahara, Minerva's entire backstory from Mama Yu.
Yes.
And, of course, perhaps the greatest translation of all time, the Grizzly Bear from Service Wars.
So I'm shocked that you don't have this, but the 2-page ass spread from Saint Muscle.
I literally said in the Floppies conversation on our Discord, that was my 4th pick.
Yes.
I was like, what are the things I just did a recording with Brad and I talked about Minerva's backstory. So I was like, I gotta include that.
David, it's funny because my next 2 are the Squirrel Gun and Minerva. For the exact same thing.
This may be the most competitive category we've had.
This may be the most competitive because I just feel so strongly about the 2-page ass spread, even though there is an overlap between the 2 other ones.
I will say, so here's the other thing though, is those elements that we're talking about are the only things you remember about the series. There are other things about Saint Muscle we talk about.
That's fair.
So do you want to reward the fact that these were singular moments that will stick with you from having read these series?
It's Minerva's Idol Fighting Ring.
I so fucking badly want that to be its own manga.
It's Minerva's Idol Fighting Ring because that is better than the rest of the manga. That is a better concept for the manga.
It's just a cool idea.
Yeah, and it's also an amazingly executed joke because it is the last panel of the page where she's like, well, you know, idols, as you know, and then page turn are in fighting rings.
Yeah.
And it's like...
So, I really love that part of the series. I'm so glad that she was... Thank you for adding that character to that series.
The character brought Mama Yu up a letter grade.
Yeah.
It really did. Mama Yu, Mama Yu. This is Mama Yu's 3rd floppy of the night. Oh my goodness, Mama Yu.
And in contrast to things that will stick with us long after reading, we have most forgettable series.
Most forgettable series.
Where Jordan, some of these I was like, oh fuck, what I told myself was, can I name 3 things about this series? And any series I could not do, I nominated for this award. So Jordan, I don't think these are a shocker, or maybe they are because you probably don't remember them. I nominated Shadow Eliminators, which is not the same series as K Necromance, Full Drive, and Yamato Gensuki, where I honestly do not remember the difference between Yamato Gensuki and Yokomono unless I check.
Honestly, same. But I have Hands, Appearance of the Yellow Dragon, and Yamato Gensuki. But I'm questioning Hands now, and the answer is Yamato Gensuki. Yeah. Because you're right, David. I can't think of the difference between Yamato Gensuki and specifically Yoakumono unless I look it up. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So there you go.
This is Yamato Gensuki's first floppy of the night.
And next, this one I think we might have been alluding to just a little bit, but let's get into it, is the flop offer you'd like to see try again.
Flop author you'd like to see try again.
Maybe they didn't do so good this time, but you know what? They definitely have that dog in them for the next series they're doing.
Yeah.
Jordan, I nominated Matsumi Rin, who created Dear Anemone, Terasaka Kento, Green Green Greens, and the word for manga offer that's hardest for me to say is Hayashi Yoshihiko from Mama Yu.
Yes, and mine are Terasaka Kento of Green Green Greens, who is an honorable mention for most improved just in general, because holy shit.
Crazy.
Hatamune Surun of Service Wars, because, like, Service Wars didn't make it, Mitama Security didn't make it, but I enjoyed both series. And my last one is Hayashi Yoshihiko of Mama Yu, which, listener, that is how you say that name.
So it's between Mama Yu and Green Green Greens.
I think it's Green Green Greens.
Yeah, I think, like, Green Greens wasn't a flop. The offer's next series is probably going to also be very good. But Mama Yu, we're just kind of rooting for him to have learned his lessons from the series.
Judging by how much this guy is improving, if he keeps up this fucking trajectory, I think he's gonna, like, knock it out of the park next time. And so the winner, yeah, Green Green Greens, Terasaka.
First win of the night.
Green, 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 green. This is Terasaka Kento's first floppy of the night. Green, 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 green. Speech, speech. Oh, thank you so much for picking me and always like blah, blah, blah.
Ravioli's being really cute under the bed chewing, but she was chewing on something, so she was being loud dog.
It's a shame we don't have an award for best dog.
So our next award is Best Dog.
Best Dog.
And my nominees were Ravioli, Ravioli, and Ravioli.
David, again, we disagree because mine are ravioli, ravioli, ravioli. Give me the formula.
The Formula Award goes to Ravioli.
Woof, woof, woof. This is Ravioli's first floppy of the night. It's the only one she's nominated for. It is arguably the most important one.
Yes. But actually, though, we are into the community section of the award, so let's get into... Actually, I lied. Well, kind of. I don't even know what to call the section. Best Host 6-Word Summary.
Best 6-word summary from a host.
So, as tradition, I nominate 3 of Jordan's, and Jordan nominates 3 of mine. And then I say which of his 3 was ultimately my favorite. Jordan, for you, I said, from Martial Master Asumi, these are Kazlo's hierarchy of needs. Wizard Soul, you've activated my trap card. Trauma. And from Green Green Greens, from Beast Child to Golf Adult.
Mine were for Guardian of the Witch. Man, imagine if England was real. Yoakumono, holy shit, 50 motherfucking wolves, goddamn. And Appearance of the Yellow Dragon, Yellow Drag on these nuts.
Got him! Jordan, I think that the Kazlo's hierarchy of needs is so clever. I wish I had thought of that.
I think you helped with that one though, because it's hierarchy of knees.
Oh, it does say David helped. I forgot it cut off.
Yeah, David.
So
Great. No, you can't pick one that you helped
Fine.
with.
All right, then I'll go with from Beast Child to Golf Adult.
Okay, there we go.
Jordan doesn't want to share the glory.
No.
All right.
And then, David, it's got to be holy shit, 50 motherfucking wolves, goddamn, for Yoakumono. I couldn't even remember the context.
Yeah, I don't remember. One for most forgettable series, Jordan. So
that's true. Oh my god.
All right. So there's not really a series we can attribute that to.
Well, hold on. Boo! 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 This is David and Jordan's first floppy of the night. Oh my god, stop throwing stuff at us. Jesus Christ, guys.
I know where all of you live.
We know who you are. Stop throwing things at us. Trafalgar, what the fuck? That hit me in the head.
All right. Speaking of community members, let's get into best community 6-word summary.
The best 6-word summary from our community.
So a big thank you to everyone who's been submitting. I actually have a short list of 15 of my favorites that I'll post on the Patreon. And I think we had like over 150 I had to go through. So that was a lot of fun. And as always, you can drop them in the Discord. We always announce it when it's time for 6-word summary. So my first one is from Mama Yuyu from Dackerson. Plot, big minus. Geography, big plus. Hands, Diego said, the Yakuza will never be ballin'. And Psychhouse, Chicken Warlord said, never got to its bucket list. One thing I do want to note is I tried to only, there were so many good ones, I tried to only nominate ones that literally could only be said as a joke for that particular series. So people had some really great evergreen jokes, but if you're wondering why I didn't include it, it was just I wanted to reward things that only could be said about that series.
Yeah. Mine were for Service Wars by Riel. What do your eggplant eyes see? Shadow Eliminators by Funky Act 4. They really did eliminate those shadows.
Yeah.
And for Full Drive, Riel again. I don't understand table tennis rules.
So I have to say, I really, really was impressed by Dackerson's plot, big minus, geography, big plus. That was like astoundingly clever. Because remember, like the world the setting is set in is shaped like a giant cross.
I completely forgot that. Okay, I like that. I also like the Yakuza will never be ballin'.
Okay, so out of the two then.
I forgot that the world was shaped like a plus, so I think I have to give it to Dackerson.
Big thank you, Dackerson, for all of your awesome 6-word summaries. Dackerson has actually provided a speech that we are going to read off now.
Thanks so much for selecting my 6-word summary. Over the past year, I've been trying to come up with a 6-word summary for each manga covered on the show, along with everyone else, and it's been a lot of fun. Though I feel a little bad for calling the plot to Mama Yuyu a big minus, it wasn't that bad, but it was the best way to make the joke work. Happy holidays and New Year to all the floppers out there.
Dackerson. Dackerson. This is Dackerson's first and unfortunately probably only floppy of the night.
All right. Speaking of 6-word summaries, Tucker always provides a banger. Tucker, thank you so much for all of your hard work on the show.
Best 6-word summary from Tucker.
So, Jordan, I nominated for Saint Muscle. By God, look at that vascularity. Martial Master Asumi, turns out violence is the answer. And from Psych House, it never goes beyond the pale.
You know, David, I think that Martial Masters Asumi should be nominated as like an honorable mention for hardest to say, because I keep wanting to call it Marshall Mathers Asumi.
And yet I have no issues.
Yeah, interesting.
Interesting, liberals.
Mine were Service Wars, serving continuous reader satisfaction and excellence, and that is excellence with egg in it. Guardian of the Witch Relook, a business transaction in comic form, and Wizard Soul, the Heart of the Cards, suffering. I like, by God, look at that vascularity.
Works for me.
By God!
Oh, man. And so, Tucker, thank you so much for so many great six-word summaries and everything else. And Tucker has provided us a clip of their speech that we're going to play now.
By God, this is an honor. It's been a pleasure, my friends. Another floppy year of trash manga. A couple hidden gems as well. Extra hidden and extra stinky garbage. Sorry, no more of that voice. As always, I appreciate the award. However, this year I have beef. Y'all chose my by God summary. It was a good one, sure. My personal favorite was Service Wars, serving continuous reader satisfaction and excellence. David didn't enunciate that eggplant pun. Well, there's no accounting for taste. I'll leave with one final summary. What was this year's manga highlight? Green, 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 greens. Thanks for being a great audience.
Tucker, 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 Tucker. This is Tucker's first floppy of the night.
And probably only.
Well, you never know.
That's true. And of course, along with Tucker, we have our wonderful manga historian, MaxyBee, who is providing us some really awesome facts.
Coolest fact from MaxyBee.
So I'm going to get into it with from Superdog Brilliantfall. Super Space Cat's favorite food is not curry. It's curry, as in cucumber. That's why it looks like a fucking cucumber. God damn it, you translators. See me after. MaxyBee was so pissed about this. Green Green Greens. The real-life Masters Tournament took place during the run of the manga. Imagine editorial took this into consideration when choosing to serialize it. So essentially it had the same thing that happened with Beast Children, where they canceled it after the golf tournament ended.
They did it again!
And from Psych House, the author came up with 50 titles for the series, had a designer make 20 logos and a 3D model of the house with schematics, a ton of which was never actually used in the series.
I had the same one for Superdog Brilliantfall and Green Green Greens. My other one is Yoakumono, which is, it's quite a bold move to make Sakamoto Ryoma the villain. Like, yes, he is an enemy of the Shinsengumi in that they hunted him a lot and were ultimately deemed responsible for his assassination. And Kondo Isami was executed as a result, but he dreamt of democracy, of removing the caste system, and ending feudalism, and is arguably romanticized as an absolute hero in Japan. I thought that was interesting because it was like genuine Japanese history. But the answer is, Superdog Brilliantfall, just because MaxyBee got so mad about that.
Hold on, Jordan. I think the fact that the thing about getting canceled right after his sports tournament happening twice to this author is pretty fucking crazy.
You know what? You're right, actually.
Yeah.
The fact itself is amazing. Yeah. I just got really happy about how mad MaxyBee
Yeah, sorry. I was like, sorry, buddy, as much as I want you to agree with me. All right,
yeah.
MaxyBee, thank you so much. Maxy, provide us an audio clip of their acceptance speech that we're going to play right now.
Hello, Shonen Flop and Shonen Flop audience. It's just a quick speech to thank people for deciding that my best fact was about Green Green Greens and how it was once again serialized during a major sporting tournament as Beast Children was before it. Which, yes, does mean we can probably expect Kento Terasaka, this podcast's favourite mangaka, to return next time there is some sort of semi-large tournament for a slightly niche but not actually that niche sport. I'm actually really glad that this is the fact that won, because the year before, 2023, I think the only sports series we did was literally a rerun of Beast Children, and this year was a victory for me specifically in that I got the show to cover 6 sporting series. Some of those were, of course, just the natural process of sports series getting cancelled in a magazine that year, but I think it's still very good that we managed to go and cover more. I feel like it's one of the genres that does not get covered enough in manga, because frankly, manga readers are all gross little shut-ins that need to get out and get a life, and so it's been very fulfilling to actually touch grass a little bit with all of you, and I think this fact being so positively received is indicative of that. Thank you again for another year of enjoying my facts on the show, and fuck off. No, that's not good. I love you all. Bye.
MaxyBee, MaxyBee, MaxyBee. This is MaxyBee's first floppy of the night.
And finally, our final production award goes for Best Cover Art.
Best Episode Cover Art.
So Mer drew all of them this year, so big shout out to Mer for all of her fantastic work. So Jordan, what I had to do is I went through all of them and I just kept deleting and deleting and deleting the pictures until I got down to 3, but it was not easy.
Until you got to Smokey BB.
Maybe. So my nominees, though, were Wizard Soul for the Jason Mind Sculpture parody, Smokey BB, which was probably the stupidest cover art idea of Smokey BB and the Bandit, and Guardian of the Witch Relook, which was a Legend of Zelda parody that Jordan thought of.
I only have Smokey BB.
And the winner is
Smokey BB.
You know what? I'm happy to take this award because it was my idea.
It is, it's Smokey BB. I'm sorry, that one's just so good.
Somehow I was completely sober while I wrote that.
It's so stupid, but it works.
Thank you so much, Mur, for your fantastic work. Mur has provided us a speech that we're going to read off right now.
I am very grateful to be working with you guys. Each and every art is a joy to work on. I crack up every time you send the reference images over. Thank you for the laughs and opportunities. You guys are the best. I wish consistent success for this podcast and a great 2025 to everyone.
Mur. This is Merliel's first floppy of the night. Mur.
Now, let's get into Patreon Town just for one award, so don't stress it too much if you're not a patron. We still love you. This award goes to Best Patreon Exclusive Episode.
Best Patreon Exclusive Episode.
And my nominees are Get a Robo Go, featuring comic book creator Xander Cannon, which is the second time his name has been mentioned on the episode. Ichinose's Family's Deadly Sins, Part 1, featuring Rem from Anime Out of Context. I really hope they cover Tucker Peepee's, that series, Original Sin. And Cheat Slayer, featuring Brad, aka Isekai Sensei from the Anime Podcaster Reincarnation Podcast. How about you, Jordan?
Mine are Get a Robo Go, featuring Xander Cannon. I have one that apparently doesn't count because it came out after we're recording
You just
this.
pretend we have the same list.
We just have the same list then. I gotta give it to Get a Robo Go, personally.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah, Get a Robo Go!
Xander Cannon's a fucking legend. Thank you for coming to Book Club. And Xander Cannon has provided us an audio clip that we're going to play right now.
Hey, all you Shonen floppers out there. This is Xander Cannon, and I am so thankful to have received this great honor for Best Patreon Episode. I am so happy to have gone on the Shonen Flop podcast 2 times, and it has certainly broadened my experience in terms of the world of manga. Keep reading those terrible comics and some of the good ones.
Xander Cannon, fire that cannon.
Imagine if we can send him a physical award he put next to his Eisner Award.
Oh my god. This is Xander Cannon's first floppy of the night.
Next up, we're getting into the big awards where we have Best Series.
Best Series.
So, Jordan, we read a lot of shit, but sometimes we read something where I say, hey, I'm glad I read it. And we're just what's the point? I nominate Green Greens, which obviously wins.
It's Green Greens.
But I also nominate Service Wars and Martial Master Asumi. How about you, Jordan? What were your other 2 nominees?
I have Green Greens, Mama Yu and Martial Master Asumi. It's Green Greens.
Interesting, because Mama Yu we called a flop.
Yeah, actually, I want to swap Mama Yu for Service Wars, but it's Green Greens.
Yeah, Green Greens wins.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It's Green Greens.
Literally, I think at the start of the show, we said we give that to Green Greens. Everyone should unironically read that series. It's very good.
It's a good series. Oh my god, it's Green Greens! This is Green Greens' second win of the night.
Now, things get competitive when we talk about the worst series we read.
Worst Series.
Where I nominated Chakacha, Appearance of the Yellow Dragon, and Yamato Gensuki.
I have Hands, Chagacha, and Appearance of the Yellow Dragon.
Okay, so it's between Appearance and Chagacha.
It's Chagacha, right?
Even
it's
the author knew it was bad.
Chagacha is such a mess to read. Like, I looked at it again, and I just looked at one page, and oh my god, it's bad. Like, obviously so. Chagacha, boo! Chagacha, boo! This is Chagacha's third floppy of the night. Hey, watch those tomatoes! Watch those tomatoes, okay? I'm not gonna get sued because you threw a tomato and hurt somebody.
Oh, Jordan. All right, and then Jordan, another one of my favorite awards is Best Worst Series, which is a series that is not good, but it's still fun to read.
Best Worst Series.
My nominees were Saint Muscle, which was handmade for this award, Takamagahara, and Hands.
So mine were Saint Muscle, and Saint Muscle.
Not even going to play games. It's clearly Saint Muscle.
It's Saint Muscle.
Saint Muscle.
Because Saint Muscle bad in the same way that JoJo Part 1 is, where it's just like, it's so insane that like, yeah, you could, I don't know if you could call it that good, but like, you're glad you read it.
You gotta do it for the culture. So glad Casey Green was the guest on that.
I think it rules, but it's also, I don't know if I could call it good. Woo! Oh my god, it's Saint Muscle! Saint Muscle! I worship you, Saint Muscle! This is Saint Muscle's second award of the night.
All right, and Jordan, our next award is an award about sometimes we have some discussion left on the table or some things have changed. So this is series we most want to revisit.
Series we most want to revisit.
And I nominated Yui Kamio because we definitely ran out of time talking about that series.
Yeah.
Service Wars because I didn't get to talk about it. And Mama Yu because apparently there's an epilogue that changes some things. So we definitely want to go check that out.
Mine were Service Wars because you didn't get to talk about it, and Saint Muscle because I just want to revisit Saint Muscle. I just want to look at that one again. And I have Muddy, but actually you make a good point about Yui Kamio in that I feel like we had a lot more to say about that.
Yeah. So Jordan, between Yui Kamio and Service Wars, is it more we left stuff on the table, or you just want to talk to me about Service Wars?
It's Yui Kamio.
Yeah.
We left a lot on the table with Yui Kamio.
Yeah, we had probably another 30 to 40 minutes of discussion on that series if we had let it go. But unfortunately, we only have so much time to record.
Yeah.
Yui Kamio's won a lot of awards tonight.
Yui Kamio is kind of sweeping. Oh my god, Yui Kamio! Yui! This is Yui Kamio's third floppy of the night.
And now we have an award. We want to celebrate our fantastic guests. So we are talking about what is the guest that we most want to see come back.
Guest we would most like to return.
And I feel like this is kind of best director versus best picture. How it's like very hard to know what the difference between these two awards is. But we'll try our best. This is celebrating guests that we think are fantastic. And we know that they have a lot to say on a lot of topics. And we really want to bring them back. I nominated Finn K, who was on Dear Anemone, David Evelyn, who was on Mama Yu Yu, and Carly Mazur, who was on Muddy.
Mine were Finn K from Dear Anemone, Carly Janine Mazer from Muddy, and KC Green on Saint Muscle.
So we both overlap with Finn K. Finn K was a really fun guest, and also since they work on the manga, that's like a very cool detail about having them back.
I feel like we had such great chemistry with Finn.
Finn K, we really appreciate it. It was so awesome to have you on the show. You are welcome back anytime, and we'll definitely try and make that happen next time that you're working on a series that got canceled.
And Finn has been kind enough to send us a few words that they'd like us to read. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for voting for me. I've been a Shonen Flop fan since the beginning of 2024, so I'm very grateful to be in a position to have been a guest on this amazing podcast. Being a part of it and seeing the feedback was such a fun experience. Thank you, David and Jordan, for letting me yap with you guys. And thank you to everyone for listening. I want my series to last, of course, but in a weird way, I hope I get to talk about failed manga again with you and everyone in the future.
So thank you so much, but I also want to say thank you to all of our super fantastic guests as well.
Woo! Oh my god, it's Finn K! Finn! This is Finn K's first and, only floppy, but still, it's a big floppy.
I also want to say that, for the record, I didn't nominate Dylan because he's already come back because he's been on 2 episodes.
Yes, I mean, he's the editor. That's not fair.
But speaking of Dylan, though, we actually have an award just for Dylan called the Dylan's Editor Choice Award, where Dylan is actually going to step in and say what was their favorite episode of the year and speak a few words why. And it'll be really funny if it was one of the 2 episodes they were on.
Not to toot my own horn, but I am going to give the Editor's Choice Award to our episode on Super Dog Rillienthal. Not because of my stellar as always performance, but because Tessa stepped in with such unexpected linguistics knowledge and answered some of our questions about why exactly the manga had such a weird name in the first place and how it actually related to the story of the character of Rillienthal.
Dylan! This is Dylan's only floppy.
Yeah, we don't know what episode it was because he's inserting it after we recorded.
Yeah.
Dylan, thank you again so much for all of your hard work. The show would not be the same without you. And then finally, Jordan, it's time. Are you ready?
Yeah.
For episode of the year.
Episode of the year.
Who is taking the mega floppy home with them?
The biggest floppy. The golden. Well, they're all golden. The platinum floppy.
God. All right. I nominated Mama Yu Yu featuring David Evelyn, Saint Muscle featuring Casey Green, and Green Green Greens featuring Bren.
I had Dear Anemone featuring Finn K, Saint Muscle featuring Casey Green, and Chagacha featuring Amber. So I guess the overlap is Saint Muscle. Gotta give it to Casey Green here.
It was just, I want to say Kino. It was just perfect. It was the perfect series to have Casey Green talk about. MaxyBee, thank you for saving that. Just the energy, the topic matter. It was really, ironically, it was the whole package.
Yeah, because he didn't have a package.
That man has no dick.
That's right. That man has no dick.
All right. So Casey Green, thank you so much for everything. Casey Green has provided us an audio clip to play.
Hello, This is Casey Green, and I'm here to thank Shonen Flop for voting my episode, Saint Muscle, best episode of the year. That's really kind of you guys. Thank you. Have a happy holiday, and stay warm, everyone. Stay warm with your muscles.
Thank you so much.
Casey, 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 woo, Casey, Casey. This is Casey Green's only floppy of the night because that's the last floppy. So it's pretty clear that he can't win another one.
Yes. Well, Jordan, that was a lot of fun. You definitely win the award for best co-host.
Thank you, David. And you also win the award for best co-host.
Oh, man. I want to give props to Merliel for the awesome cover art. Find her online at Lyle Mur, and Nigel for being our generous art benefactor. Thank you, Dylan, for assistance with editing. You can find his podcast, Anime Out of Context, at animeoutofcontext.com. Thanks to Tucker and MaxyBee for assistance with pronunciation, translation, other miscellaneous research. Thank you, Kalal, for being our social media manager. Find us on Twitter at ShonenFlopcast, Tumblr Shonen-Flop, and our website, ShonenFlop.com. We're also on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever else you get your podcasts. If you want more weekly David and Jordan content, you can also find us every Friday on the Chainsaw Minute, where we talk about the latest chapter of Chainsaw Man. Find it at csm.libsyn.com or wherever else you listen to Shonen Flop. Come join the Shonen Flop Discord, as I mentioned. It's open to everyone, Patreon or not. Hang out with us, talk about anime, games, wherever else is on your mind. Even have a manga book club and movie nights. You can find a link to it in the show notes or on our site, shonenflop.com. I also wanted to give people a heads up that we are actually taking the month of January off. I'm going to Japan, and we want to give the team a much needed break because they do such awesome work. We're going to be doing some reruns of some of our favorite episodes we did this year, including unlocking a piece of Patreon content for everyone. But we will be back on February 3rd with our first thoughts on Chameleon Jail. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
If you've been enjoying the podcast and want to help us keep going, subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/shonenflop. Along with that warm and fuzzy feeling of helping us out, you also get access to monthly bonus episodes, including the Shonen Drop, where Jordan and I look back at the previous month's episode and open the mystery box. Jordan, what did we drop in January for our wonderful patrons?
Well, David, for this month, we're dropping the second in our 3-part series of Hentai Cayman with Maddie. And for the mystery box, well, we're reading the first chapter of Undead Unluck.
Yeah, it's been requested for a long time, so we're going to finally check it out.
Yeah!
And if that's not enough, other perks include picking a manga for us to cover in a main episode, episodes up to a week in advance, and behind-the-scenes content like our warm-up audio or recording notes. We also want to read off some of our wonderful patrons. Starting with our dolphin dads, we have Glornak and Rachel, my wonderful wife. She's in Florida right now, and I miss her dearly. Moving on down to the Ravioli tier, where Ravioli got to zoom in the snow yesterday. It was very cute.
Yay! Aww.
We have Chris, Eva, Jeanette Davis, Lady T, Matt, Scarlett, T, Tiffany, and Trevor Schechner. Moving on down to the King of the Forest, we have 090Z, Bandit Stoof,
my girlfriend,
Brad, who I just recorded a podcast with, Chad, Ivan, Jacob, Justin, Kirbymon, Marty, Riley, Sarah, D. Wolfwood, and Tommy Boy. And a big thank you to our Galactic Ball Federation officers and our Beast Children.
Yes, thank you. I love all of you very much.
Well, that's all for me, Jordan. How about you?
Yes, thank you so much, everybody. This has been the Floppies. Ow! Ow! Oh my god! Ow! Oh my god, they're throwing rocks at us, David! Let's run! 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 Ah, shut the door! Shut the door!
And you've been listening to Shonen Flop.
Shut the door! Bye!
Bye.